This month, during Black History Month, you'll be hearing a lot about civil rights activists and trailblazers, and there are plenty of those history makers right here in Central Florida.
And we're getting real about bringing you their stories. Today, I'm talking with a woman known as the matriarch of African-American politics in Orlando. And at 95 years old, Mable Butler hasn't lost any of her fire, passion, or willingness to speak her mind. Mable Butler's imprint is all over Orange County, the family center that bears her name. This exhibit about her at the Orange County Regional History Center, a Habitat for Humanity community named Butler's Preserve, and the street where she's lived for more than 6 decades. She moved to Orlando in 1957 and later got active in the PTA and registering people to vote. Politics was not in the picture. Well, tell me about running for office that first time.
But I never had an intent, because I'm very upfront, very frank, and don't have a problem with pulling out my soapbox on any corner.
But when she brought a few people together to talk about who should run for city council in 1984, they chose her. She ran and won, becoming the first Black woman on the council. Then 6 years later, elected the first Black person on the Orange County Commission. But ask as I did what it was like being the first, you'll get a classic Mable Butler answer.
You know, what was it like for them? I had no problem. What was it like for them? Of course, one of the things is it was different for them to have a Black commissioner, a woman that's very vocal.
And not afraid to use her voice there or later on the county commission.
So all I'm saying to you is you need to know what you're doing up here rather than knuckle down to pressure. We can do that. You can give Orange County citizens the service they deserve. You know, honey, I'm gonna get you out in the community so you can pull your boots off.
In those 14 years in elected office, Butler was passionate about many issues like affordable housing, making sure African-American communities weren't overlooked, and confronting city and county department heads about whether their staff reflected the community.
Well, every one of them learned. When they came around, I had my questions waiting for them, like, what's your staff look like? You know, do your staff look like me? And, well, the fellow said, no. Well, I said, well, we're going to change that, aren't we?
Now at age 95, she has a room filled with plaques, awards, recognitions, and memories.
I went to one of the games.
Like when she, as she puts it, stole the Florida Classic from Tampa and brought it to Orlando. She may be retired from elected office, but she still has a lot to say about blazing the trail for others and how they should treat the office they're holding.
And I'm just so pleased we have so many that wants to run, but it bothers me when they forget why they ran. To be a public servant and not lock themselves up with a title. That bothers me. Commissioner, mayor, governor, senator, you know, you are a public servant.
The Garden Theater in Winter Garden honored Mrs. Butler with a Trailblazer Award last week as it presented a play called The Mountaintop, inspired by Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s last public speech.
I love so much about Mable Butler. Remember how she was on the commission, and now to see how well she's doing. You know, she's so sharp mentally and physically and 95 years old. And what she said at the end is what all politicians should listen to and adhere to.
Exactly.
It's not about the title, it's about the people.
And that's what she says, is what she tells them all the time when she talks to them. She's still driving and still doing her thing. It was hard to set up the interview because every day I tried to do it, she was busy doing something. So I'm glad I finally tracked her down.
I need to know her secret.
Yes.